It is an ever-present struggle. Trying to get my audio right. Hope my voice level's not coming through too hot, too high. If y'all out there in the chat, show some love, drop some likes. We're getting ready to talk about this episode of Impact.
So unhappy, without you, baby. Saw your Insta story and it drove me crazy. I was upstanding, treat you like a lady. Treat you like a hoe, since you tried to play me. Not even going front, that pussy felt amazing. You wanna go again, that pussy started craving. You say don't do it like this or I'ma have your baby. You say choke me by the neck like you tryna break it. Then you say don't worry, I'm a doctor. Daddy wasn't around so her daddy couldn't stop her. Threesome with her best friend, it was awkward. One stayed and the other one became a stalker. Fuck me baby, I can make you prosper.
So many
Roll a movie, one day I'ma win an Oscar. Cup her hands, she don't use them like a soccer.
Wherever you may be, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day here with me. Shout out to the boy Thomas Legend for letting us use his song Catchin Vibes as our intro to the pod here. Shout out to everybody who is joining us in the chat. Real quick, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop a comment. Let me know where you're checking in, where you're seeing this from. Let me know what you thought about the show tonight. Let me know what you guys thought about Impact tonight. Welcome to the show. So here we are. I think that might have been the last new traditional set of the last new like basic Impact show between now and January. I think we're gonna get the IPWF show. I don't know, they might have another show or two in the can. They usually hit us with, you know, the best of episode. I think they got another Impact Plus special coming up. But I feel like they kind of go into cruise control as the year winds down. Impact has a habit of this, and that seems to be kind of where they're at right now. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we got us a banger. We got us a banger. This episode was hitting. It was hitting on all cylinders, okay? There was a lot of good stuff on the show tonight. We had the Rascals with Myron Reed. We had Jordynne Grace and Bully Ray doing something crazy. And, of course, the thing that everybody tuned in to see tonight was the much-anticipated, long-awaited match between Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander. Two of the best in the world went at it on tonight's episode of Impact. And listen, we the fans, we're the winners in this situation. We are absolutely the winners in this situation because we got to see a match. All of us fans here in Impact, all of us fans of Impact, we got to see a match that it shouldn't have been on free TV. Like, this should have been a match that was built up over the course of a few weeks with promos and some shenanigans and some different things done to make it look like this was going to be, you know, just one of the wilder episodes we were ever going to see. And they should have did a lot of hype surrounding this. But all we really got was we got the graphics on Impact's Twitter letting us know that Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander were going to be having a match the night after Bound for Glory at Cicero Stadium. And that just didn't feel like a sufficient build for a match of this quality. And here's the thing, right? Like, this match had name value. Impact does not get a lot of matches that have name value. Now, Josh Alexander certainly does not have as much name value to the general public as Will Ospreay. If you're an Impact fan, you know, we love Josh Alexander. You know, we've been watching him do his thing for years now, and we know that Josh Alexander is in the same category as the Kenny Omegas, as the Will Ospreays. But his name just does not draw in that way. I talk to BQ about this all the time. Shout out to BQ. And he tells me that when he's doing the thumbnails and he puts Josh Alexander on them, they get the least amount of traffic. And that matters. That matters. okay? Because that tells you when you put people's face on something like on a thumbnail for a YouTube video, does the audience stop and click? Does the audience stop and say, I want to see what Will Ospreay is talking about? You know what I mean? Does the audience stop and do that when this particular person is on your thumbnail? And that's one of the things you always got to gauge, because that's how you gauge who you're going to put on your thumbnails, right? Like, you want to put stuff up there that's going to make people stop and click and stop and watch. And a lot of times when we use Josh Alexander as something we're putting out there, people don't stop. People don't stop and click it. People don't, people aren't saying, oh man, I need to see what Josh Alexander's talking about. So Josh Alexander does not, it's just a fact, he does not have the same amount of name recognition as a Will Ospreay. But damn it, that boy can go. That boy can go in the ring. We know that Josh Alexander is far and away one of the best in the ring, period. Like, there's no way around it. So we got a treat. And Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander absolutely, hands down, delivered one of the best matches you're going to see on TV with what they put out tonight. And you know what? Coming out of this is the main thing the Impact fans are talking about. So we're not going to bury the lead. We're going to start right there. So, all the build-up, a dream match of epic proportions, Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander, first time ever. Will Ospreay hit a running shooting star. Josh Alexander connected with a series of German suplexes, suplexing them all around the ring like a young Kurt Angle. Will Ospreay went for a Hurricane Rana, but Alexander caught him mid-air and hit him with a backbreaker, and this was crazy. He hit him, it was a backbreaker, but he dropped him on the one knee, and it just looked so brutal the way he came down. Then Alexander got him off the ring apron with the running crossbody. Will Ospreay, he was hurting from the backbreaker, so he rolled out to the ring apron to try to recover, and then Josh Alexander runs up on him and hits him with the crossbody as Will Ospreay is sitting down. Crazy. That's one of those crazy moves. It looks so wild. And Josh Alexander hit a Northern Light suplex and then whipped Ospreay into the corner turnbuckle. Ospreay turned the tide with a handspring kick and followed up with a springboard forearm. Alexander hit a rolling senton off the second rope. Moments later, Ospreay hit an explosive Tiger Driver, providing him with the opportunity to regain his composure. Ospreay then hit the cheeky Nando's kick. Ospreay fights off a top rope German suplex attempt. Then Ospreay lands awkwardly on a moonsault, and Alexander quickly capitalizes by securing an ankle lock. This ankle lock, it looked like the match might be over when Ospreay was able to. He said he went out scudder. But the Oscutter, hit the Oscutter. I'm reading off the Impact match play-by-play here, because I was definitely not going to take notes on all the play-by-play of this match. This match was crazy. And so, catching back up to it, then Ospreay started the hidden blade, but his leg gave out, and both men exchanged headbutts in the middle of the ring. This was cool because they were just like really wearing each other down, and they're both on all fours in the middle of the ring, like just headbutting, because they were just giving it their all, right? And then Ospreay fights off another ankle lock into a Spanish fly. Ospreay bounces back with a pile driver for yet another near fall. Ospreay avoids the C4 spike, then hits the hidden blade and Storm Driver 93. Ospreay then hits the hidden blade, followed by the Stormbreaker for the win. Crazy match, and honestly, even given the play-by-play, does not do it justice. That's just one of the craziest matches you're ever going to see. If you're not an Impact insider, find that match. There's plenty of ways you can find a match online today. If you're not subscribed to Impact Plus or Impact Insiders or whatever, find a way to watch this match. It is worth your time. And this was great. After the match, Will Ospreay grabbed the mic and cut a promo in the ring. He talked about how, TNA inspired him as a kid and how he always grew up wanting to be a TNA wrestler. And this was dope, man. This was dope. This was a dope moment. The crowd was chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. And this is one of those things that just creates all this momentum for the TNA rebrand coming at the top of 2024. And look, man, it's really dope. Like if you're a TNA fan or a TNA wrestler or somebody who works behind the scenes in Anthem, you got to be really excited about the prospects of just the fact that people are so excited. People are so excited that I think they're kind of almost lying to themselves about what they expect coming out of Impact in 2024. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. Impact put out a graphic that they're going to be doing a show in 2024 in Orlando at this place called the Osceola Convention Center or something like that. Now, they've done a show at this place like last year, I think. It was called like Citrus Brawl. And it looked just like every other episode of Impact. But because people are still caught up in this buzz about this TNA rebrand, and they are just convinced that come 2024, TNA is going to look like AEW Dynamite, people think this place is going to be packed out with 10,000 people somehow. And I'm just cautioning everyone, temper your expectations. Temper your expectations. Because what's going to happen is if you get too overly excited for what we're expecting to come 2024, then all you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment. All right? Like, let's give them time. If Scott D'Amore has shown us anything over the course of these past few years, is that he's a slow growth kind of guy. He's a slow growth kind of guy. So just give it time and let's see how it plays out. Look, we're not gonna jump out the window, but I'm just saying, like, let's not get our expectations up too high when we talk about the progress and about, shiny new TNA presentation. I would love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I do hope that come 2024, you turn on TNA and it looks like it looked in 2008. That'd be amazing. I just don't expect it. Like, from what we've seen from this group since 2018, I don't think like there's any good reason to truly expect that. Shout out to Impact 88 in the chat, said Kenny King asked for his release from Impact. I did read that. And you know what? Shout out to him. Shout out to Kenny King. Kenny King has been absolutely killing it. So I'm okay with Kenny King asking for his release. You know why? Because Kenny King has been doing great work in Impact. And if you're Kenny King, you're doing great work. You're in some of the best shape of your career. You're cutting promos better than you ever cut in your career. Why aren't you getting more of a featured role? I was saying this about Kenny King a couple of, probably around like sometime last year. I was just watching Kenny King and just thinking to myself, like, man, this guy, like, Kenny King is better now than he's been any time I can remember. So I don't have, any problem with Kenny King looking at where he is on the card and saying, I can do more. I'm always a fan of anybody who looks at their situation and says, I can do more, let me do more, and if you're not going to let me do more, let me hit the door. So shout out to him, shout out to Kenny King, because Kenny King is doing great work right now. And I don't know that there's another opportunity for him in, let's say, AEW or, you know what? There probably is an opportunity for him in AEW. And you know why? Because AEW feels very stale right now. If you've been watching AEW, you got to admit AEW has lost a lot of the luster, a lot of the novelty, a lot of the newness that is what was really carrying the interest in this product, right? There was two things that were carrying the interest in AEW. It was the novelty of something new, and it was wanting to follow up with these characters that you have been following from their time in New Japan and ROH, this whole Young Bucks Elite saga, right? But clearly that interest had a limited shelf life because they're coming back down to earth hard, okay? So Tony Khan has to be looking to freshen up that roster. He teased a major signing coming this week on pay-per-view. A lot of speculation that it could be Mercedes Moné, not Monet, Money. And that'll be a big get for them. But still, though, I mean, they've not shown a great track record of doing good and fun content with their female talent. They've not shown a great track record of doing good and fun content with a lot of their talent. So they really need to freshen up their roster. So it would not surprise me if AEW sent word through back channels to Kenny King, hey, if you can get free from your contract with Impact TNA, then we got a spot for you. So hopefully that's the case, and hopefully we see Kenny King performing in front of some big crowds pretty soon. All right, let me get back to this Impact review. All right, so let's get back to the top of the show. Speaking of Kenny King kicked off the show teaming with Sheldon Jean against ABC, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin. This was a fun match. I think watching this match, you really got to see why people like Ace and Bay. And you really got to see why we should be seeing more and more of Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. This match showcased all the athleticism of all four of these guys. And Sheldon Jean, he appears to be a relatively new talent. I think he's on excursion from New Japan. I could be wrong about that. I'm just guessing because I think he first showed up with some of those Bullet Club guys, and he just kind of has stayed. And I know that New Japan sends their wrestlers, out to work in different promotions for a while to get more seasoned. And I think that's the case with Sheldon Jean. But this guy, he's good. And this is one of the things I like about watching NXT is you can see the talent improving, like week after week, month after month. That's what I see with Sheldon Jean. And this dude is getting really good. And him and Kenny King, I thought that looked like a great team tonight. And I was watching them and just thinking to myself, like, man, why don't we give those dudes the tag team title? It seems like the tag team titles rotate around the same group of people, right? Like Keith and Rhino and the Good Brothers had a stranglehold on the tag team title for it seemed like a year, 2 years. And, now they got ABC back and we got the Rascals back. And we don't want the tag team titles just bouncing back and forth between the same two teams every couple of weeks. So you got to get another team in there to freshen it up. So to me, it would have been a great idea to build some momentum for Kenny King and Sheldon Jean because I think those dudes really could have done something great. But as we know now, Kenny King is up out of here, and who knows how many more episodes we'll be seeing him on Impact because, we don't know how many episodes they've got taped with him already, but he's out of here going forward. All right, we got a promo that MK Ultra is here to reshape your reality. And I got to tell you, man, MK Ultra is interesting to me because, like, there's this weird thing of, they look like mean, violent people, but they also have, like, this weird kind of S&M vibe about them. And I swear, I watched this. I watched their interactions, Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich, and I'm like, is this supposed to be erotic? I'm not sure. I can't tell. Maybe. Look, there's a market for everything, right? There is a market for everything, okay? Just type in your search bar, anything you think of, there's a market for it. So it probably is supposed to be erotic. It's just not typically what's in my wheelhouse, okay? It's not typically what's in my wheelhouse. So I'm questioning if I'm looking at it the right way. But I can catch a vibe. You know what I mean? I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's supposed to be a little, you know, a little weird, kind of freaky, but it's weird. It's weird, but I think I like it. I'm not sure. So anyway, we got to see MK Ultra, and they're here to distort our reality, I guess. Up next was Moose versus Heath. Now, nobody gives a damn about Heath, okay? Nobody has given a damn about Heath from the time he arrived at Impact, and nobody gives a damn about Heath now. Heath, if you're watching this, no offense. I'm just saying, as a character, you don't make anything more interesting. I'm sorry. No offense. I respect your work, but nothing interesting, okay? All right. So they had a fun match here. Brian Myers was at ringside with Moose. He was carrying Moose's his Feast or Friar briefcase, which we know Moose will be cashing in for a title shot in the main event of Hard to Kill, the first TNA pay-per-view come January. And Brian Myers was playing a vital role in this match. He was doing lots of interfering on Moose's behalf, and Moose eventually gets the win over Heath. After the match, they started beating down Heath. You know, they're putting the boots to him, and Rhino, Gore, comes out to make the save. Okay, Rhino comes out to make the save, and then after the match, we get a little promo by Moose setting up what's going to be a future program between Rhino. I'm guessing it's going to be Rhino and Heath versus Moose and Brian Myers. But I think I heard that Heath is a free agent now too. So whatever they're doing has to be Heath wrapping up, you know, his time with Impact, because, you know, why, right? So now, this was the sneaky good moment of the evening. This was the Rascals, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed versus Black Taurus, Laredo Kid, and Juventud Guerrera. Now, for some reason, Conan was ringside, and I'm like, why is Conan here? That's interesting. But then I see the Lucha Libre team, you know, Black Taurus, Laredo Kid, and Juventud Guerrera come out. And shout out to Juventud Guerrera. Juventud Guerrera does not look like dramatically different from the way he did in like 1996. It's crazy. Like, he still looks like Hoovy Juice. He's not wearing, you know, the mask anymore, but you can 100% tell that's him. And you know, a little older, he's got a little more of an old man body, but not like an old man body, just like an older man body, you know. But he can still go. Man. Shout out to Hoovy Juice. And this match was exactly, you know, what you expected. Sunset flip power bombs, triple drop kicks, you know, lucha this, lucha that, hurricane rana this, hurricane rana that. It was crazy action. And the surprise thing, though, Black Taurus caught Myron Reed in midair and spiked him down with the Destination Hellhole to get the win. I was shocked because this is the first time we saw Myron Reed performing as a member of the Rascals. And by the way, that three-man team looks amazing. Myron Reed, natural fit with these guys. Absolutely natural fit with these guys. He's got great charisma, just pops right off the screen. He has like all this attitude and like swag that just, it fits so well. Like, it embodies the Rascals so good. I hope they have Myron Reed signed to a long-term contract with TNA, because he would be a great talent to kind of, you know, lead this new generation of TNA. Like, if TNA is rebranding and they want to appear to be something different, something new, you got to have some new faces. We love the faces that have been consistently on TNA, on Impact for a long time, right? Trey Miguel being one of them. You know, Zachary Wentz was here, then he wasn't, and now he's back. And those are two of the guys that we look at as, like, Impact guys. But having some new, fresh faces is going to be key to adding more excitement. Because you can only repackage Eric Young so many times. Shout out to Eric Young, he's great. But you can only repackage the same guys so many times. You need some new, fresh faces. And Myron Reed, he's ready, man. He is ready for prime time. He's been on like MLW, and the more you see of this guy, and I don't even watch MLW like that, but I've seen different clips of Myron Reed promos and a couple of his matches. This dude is ready. He's a star. Myron Reed is a star. So keep your eyes on this guy. If you see something floating across your timeline with Myron Reed on it, stop and pay attention to what he's doing, because this dude is worth your time. Trust me, he is worth your time. Something else that was worth your time was a 4-person intergender tag team match between Steve Macklin, Kylan King, and that was one team, and the other team was Bully Ray and Jordynne Grace. So the first thing that stood out to me watching this match was that Kylan King, she's bigger than I thought she was. Like, there was a part where she was in the ring with Bully Ray, and they were trading blows back and forth, and she didn't look like she was, like terribly outmatched. I mean, if it was a real fight, right, obviously that would look different. But from a wrestling standpoint, right, like from a height standpoint, from a like a width standpoint, like, she didn't look like she was dwarfed by Bully Ray. Even as athletic and powerful and strong as Jordynne Grace looks, she looks tiny standing next to Bully Ray. Kylan King did not. And so I'm looking at her and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, they need to do more with her. Like, Kylan King needs to be dominating people, winning matches, and looking like a strong contender in the knockouts division, because this is the type of person, like, people talk about all the time how Vince McMahon has like this airport test thing, right? The idea that you want stars to be people who, when they walk through the airport, the average person is going to stop and look at this person and go, oh, what does that person do? That's an athlete. That's a unique looking person. Kylan King fits that bill. And the thing about wrestling is, even if you haven't been booking somebody strong, it takes nothing to turn that around. All you got to do is spend a couple of weeks of seeing this person beat people. So we haven't seen Kylan King, beat a lot of people. I think she lost to Trinity on Trinity's first week in Impact, and we haven't seen Kylan King do a whole lot. But if you give us a couple of promos of Kylan King talking about why she's refocusing and the knockouts title is so important to her, and then you just give her a couple of matches of just beating people soundly, right? Like, let her beat some of the lower card people soundly and just work her way up. She could easily be knockouts champion. I think she could be a good knockouts champion because she has the look. And again, we got to look at everything right now when we're talking Impact, talking TNA, in the sense of, what can you do to freshen up the show for January? Because everybody's excited for the TNA rebrand come January. What are you going to give us that's new? What are you going to give us that's different for January? And this is something you can give us that will feel new and different come January. So I think they should put some muscle behind Kylan King. All right, speaking of muscle, Jordynne Grace ended up getting the win. She put Kylan King away with the Juggernaut driver to get the pin. And after the match, this was an interesting thing that happened. So Bully Ray demanded that Jordynne Grace pulls the Call Your Shot trophy out of his hand. And first she's like, give it to me. Give it to me. And he's like, no, you gotta pull it out of my hand. And so eventually she pulls it out of his hands, and then there's like this weird tense kind of moment. I wasn't sure, were they gonna like hug or kiss? But they shake hands, and then Jordynne Grace celebrates with the Call Your Shot trophy as Bully Ray leaves the ring. Now, I was thinking to myself, okay, this was a mutual respect kind of thing. But in wrestling, nothing happens for nothing, okay? Everything is done for a reason. And I got to tell you, I think the reason for this is I think we're on the verge of a Jordynne Grace heel turn. Now, why is that? Because Jordynne Grace has been a staple of the Knockouts division for a while, but she's also lost to every big fish that has come in. She lost to Trinity. She lost to Deonna Purrazzo. And so I think she lost to Mickie James. And so if you're Jordynne Grace, you got to be sitting there saying to yourself, something's got to change. Something's got to change. Something's got to give. So I could see Jordynne Grace coming to a point when she takes on Trinity at Hard to Kill, where she's like, damn it, I will sell my soul to the devil. I will side up with Bully Ray and do whatever I got to do to get this Knockouts title off of Trinity. And I think Bully Ray could come in, run some type of either interference or just, straight up, physically help beat Trinity. But I think that's where we're headed. I think this Jordynne Grace Bully Ray partnership is going to be the reason that Jordynne Grace takes the Knockouts title off of Trinity come Hard to Kill. It's just a theory, but we'll see where it's going. Real quick before we move on, go ahead and hit those like buttons, man. As you guys are listening to the reviews here, let's get the likes up for this show. I want the likes to match the views. If you are watching this show, it takes a tiny little second just to hit that like button. So just go ahead and do that for your boy. Drop a like, drop a comment, show some love. Also, you can subscribe. I'd like to have you whenever I'm here. Do with me. We can do this more regularly. All right, anyway. Up next, we had the Knockouts World Champion Trinity against Sunny Kiss. All right, so Knockouts World Champion Trinity accepted the challenge laid out by Sunny Kiss last week, and it's on. It's a stalemate in the early going as Trinity and Kiss match each other's pace and offense. Kiss plants her face first into the mat with a spinning slam. Kiss hits a standing moonsault for 2. Kiss remains in control with a handspring back elbow. Then Trinity creates an opening with an innovative bulldog. The momentum begins to shift as Trinity hits the running splits for 2. Trinity connects with a split leg moonsault, but it's not enough. Kiss almost puts her away with a cartwheel kick, but Trinity bounces back and hits the full Nelson slam for the win. Trinity gets the win over Sunny Kiss. Now, as I mentioned, you know how I said that there was probably something to that Bully Ray Jordynne Grace connection at the end of that match? It's no coincidence that they did that and then did the Trinity Sunny Kiss match right after that. That's because they want you to keep relating those two things in your mind. So just keep that in mind as the days and weeks and months go on and we get closer and closer to Hard to Kill. All right. At Final Resolution, the Motor City Machine Guns vow to show Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. why they're the greatest wrestlers of this generation. And then we also got the IPFW Throwback Throwdown 4 going down in 2 weeks on Access TV. So that tells me that we'll probably have one more night of tapings from Cicero Stadium. And then we got to figure out how Thanksgiving is coming up pretty soon. So we're going to be right into the holidays. We got like another 5 weeks of the year. And there's going to be 2 weeks of best of episodes. So they got the IPWF show. So really, they got to figure out like 2 more episodes of Impact to get us through the rest of the year. And then, like I said, they got the IPWF show. They got the best of shows they always do to end the year. And then we'll see what else is. We'll see what else they got in the can. We'll see what else they got coming up. But I don't know. I don't know. I think they always end the year kind of weak, man. They always end the year kind of weak. I do like the Lucha Libre stuff. Let me see what we got in the chat here. Let's see, AO Productions. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining the stream. Shout out to you. And Impact 88, thank you too for joining the stream. You guys are great. Thank you guys for hitting those likes and joining the stream. Everybody in the chat, shout out to you guys. So said Kenny King asked for his release. We talked about that. More Lucha Libre. Yo, the Lucha Libre dudes did their thing tonight. I was shocked. I was surprised to see those dudes get a win. It looked a little surprising to me, especially being that was the first time we got to see all three of the Rascals in action, and I was just a little surprised to see them not get a win. With that being the first time we saw all three of those guys working together, but I like not giving them a win right away. Why? Because that gives us something to do down the line. Now they can come back, right? Now they can come back and be like, well, we didn't get to beat you the first time, so that gives us a reason to come back and do the match again. So I'm okay with it. Let's see what else we got here. Big free agents from MLW. That's true. Alex Hammerstone, he's trying to wiggle free. Again, he said Myron Reed wrestled Josh Alexander in Alpha 1 in 2021. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was cool. And then, right, they're bringing in Zack Sabre Jr. to team with Josh Alexander against Motor City Machine Guns, which should be an absolute banger. Like, there's no way that is not going to be a crazy good match, right? Like, I'm 100% sure this is going to be a phenomenal match with these dudes. And, right now, Impact is hanging his hat on doing great wrestling. But I think you got to do more than great wrestling, right? There's got to be something that Impact can lean on and say, this is our brand, So there's got to be that balance between, yes, we're going to give you great wrestling, but you got to get people invested in stories and characters, okay? Like, you got to get as far as possible away from what AEW does, which is you should know these characters and go do your research. If you're not doing your research, no, man. No, that is not the way. That is not the way to bring in more new fans, okay? Like, you gotta welcome people in and give them a product that they're gonna want to tell their friends about, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with doing your research. You can go look up Zack Sabre Jr. matches and all of that. But here's the thing. If I'm doing a show, I'm going to give you a reason to care about all the characters and all the matches that is coming up. All right? So listen. Let's see if we got any more questions in the chat before I get out of here. I'm not trying to stay here all night. I got to get up in the morning, get my workout in, got a work day tomorrow, got to go to work. I know everybody got stuff to do. But we got people in the chat, man. Everybody hit the like button. Do not leave this chat. Do not leave this stream without hitting that like button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Please make sure to share this stream with people, okay? Even after the fact, tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all are the best. I know y'all got stuff to do, okay? I got stuff to do. And if y'all like this, then I will come back next week and do it again. Try to make this a regular thing. There's not I know there's other people that review Impact Live right after the show is over, but everybody's different. You know what I mean? Maybe that's your flavor, maybe it's not, but a little competition never hurt nobody. Okay, I do it my way, they do it their way. So again, hopefully you guys like it. And again, if you guys really like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and the best thing you could possibly do if you really want to help out this show is tell a friend to tell a friend. All right, y'all are the bomb. Thank y'all so much. Until next time, I am TW. Peace out.